Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's good to see you again, or at least it's good to see a camera that I know on the other side you're seeing me again. But welcome back to Edify, and I'm so glad that you're watching. And I've got some really good stuff for you today, so please stick around until the very end if you can. It's not going to be that long. But before you leave this video screen today, will you please like this video and will you please share it with someone else, especially if you have subscribed to this channel? Let other people know what we're talking about here and that it can be an encouragement, okay? I'd really appreciate it and would help this channel out a bunch. Now, guess what I got to do this week? I got to go to a reunion. Well, this reunion was one that we have not had before, and it was a reunion of people that we went to school with, not just a class reunion, but a school reunion. And it was a great time that we had. And it was good to see people that we hadn't seen in some cases up to 30 years. And so it was a great time, a fellowship. Now, what does that have to do with you and me? So this reunion reminded me of something else. It reminded me of a even greater reunion, one which we'll be able to see people that we have not even seen before, that we have heard about, that have gone on and died and gone on to heaven without us, like our grandparents or great grandparents or great 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 grandparents who knew the Lord, even those in the Bible. We're going to get to have a reunion with them one day if we have put our faith and trust in Jesus Christ. Isn't that an awesome thing to know and to think about? That one day there's going to be a reunion, and even those that missed out on the reunion that I just went to, because why? Well, some weren't there because they had other things to do. Some weren't there because they were dead. They were in the ground. They had gone on. I can think of a few or at least one or two, particularly that I know when it happened and saw them just before. And, so they weren't able to be at this reunion, but they're going to be at that other reunion. And that should be a comfort to us. The Apostle Paul wrote about it in the Bible, in the book of Thessalonians, Second Thessalonians, that is. Let me read a little of that to you. In Second Thessalonians chapter 4, the Apostle Paul says, but if I would not, he said, but I would not have you to be ignorant, brethren. In other words, I don't want you to be unknowledgeable about this. I want to tell you concerning them which are asleep, or those who have died, that ye sorrow not, even as those others which have no hope. Now, I don't know if you've ever experienced this before, but have you ever gone to a funeral home? Here in America, if you're watching this in another country, our culture is that when someone dies, we have a funeral place, a building, a business that takes care of their body and makes it presentable. We have a casket, and they open up the casket, and we come and view the body in the casket. And we talk to each other, love each other, hold each other, comfort each other the best we can around this person that passed away and honoring them. And then later we have the actual funeral service and the burial. Not everybody does it that way, but that's common here in America and in some other countries too, I guess. Well, he says here, there are people who have no hope. Well, what's that talking about? That hope of reunion, that hope of seeing that loved one again. I've been to funeral homes. I worked in one, but I've been to services where in the visitation time, when those families are there, you've got one side that is full of believers and the other side that is unbelievers. And what's the difference? It's obvious, it's stark. On one side, you've got people who are happy. It's like the reunion that I went to this weekend. They're happy, they're talking to each other, they're smiling. Now, are they happy that the person's dead? No, they're not happy that the person's dead. They're sad. But they're able to have a warm and precious time at this meeting because they're with loved ones, they're sharing in the loss and in the pain, but at the same time they're rejoicing and knowing that the body that's laying in the casket is just that. It is the body, it is the shell, it is not their loved one, because their loved one's soul has gone on to heaven to be with the Lord. And one day, Paul says, those who have died we will see again. He says, "For if we believe that Jesus died and rose again, even so them which sleep in Jesus will God bring with him. For this we say unto you by the word of the Lord, that we which are alive and remain unto the coming of the Lord shall not prevent them which are asleep. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of an archangel, and with the trump of God, and the dead in Christ shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord." And then Paul says this, "Wherefore, because of what I've just said, the fact that I have just given you, comfort one another with these words." So you've got people on one side of a funeral home that are comforting each other. On this side of the funeral home, you've got people dressed in black like this, all black, everybody. And they are weeping and they're downtrodden and they look like their whole world has collapsed, because pretty much it has. The person that they might have loved the most on this earth in this life is now dead as a doornail. There's nothing left of them. There is absolutely no hope that they will ever see that person again, because they don't even believe in an afterlife. They don't believe in Jesus. They don't believe anything other than the fact that you live and you die, and that's it. They have no hope. The apostle said in 1 Corinthians, Apostle Paul, if we in this life only have hope in Jesus, we are of men most miserable. In other words, if it's just a religious thing for here just to live by, oh, that's a miserable thing. We should be the most miserable, because look at what we give up in the world in order to live a righteous or a holy life. No, but it's not like that. Because of Christ, our hope is real. And it isn't just in this world, it is in the one to come that he has made for us. And one day we will see each other in it with a reunion, in a reunion time that will blow all the other ones away. And I'm looking forward to that. I don't know about you. And I hope these words have been comforting. Well, God bless you. We'll see you in the next video.